10 biggest armies in the world. Vietnam. 482,000 active personnel. Although it might have a population 15 times smaller than its neighbor China, its army is only 4.5 times smaller. That's thanks to all men aged between 18 and 25 having to serve at least 1.5 years in the military. It's a good job they're not massively outnumbered, given the two countries went to war in 1979 and fought a naval battle in 1988. In 2014, China dropped a giant oil rig just 150 miles off Vietnam's coast, reigniting tensions. Turkey. 510,600 active personnel. Turkey is the second biggest member of NATO, but there are reports of mistreatment and even torture inside its army. In fact, more Turkish troops have died from suicide than actual fighting in the last decade. Iran. 534,000 active personnel. The Iranian army has recently developed suicide drones to attack helicopters, aircraft carriers, and possibly civilian targets. While they might not be as deadly as a cruise missile, they are up to 14 times cheaper. South Korea. 630,000 active personnel. The North Korean army may outnumber South Korea's 2-1, but the South spends more than 3 times as much money on its forces. In a war, it's estimated that it would take South Korea and the USA 5 days to subdue North Korean artillery, plus a further 56 days and 90,000 troops to secure its nuclear stockpile. Pakistan. 630,400 active personnel. Despite going to war with India 3 times since 1960, Pakistan has more often used its armed forces to maintain peace across the globe. Taking an active role in the UN, it often provides more troops than any other country to peacekeeping missions. Russia. 768,500 active personnel. Russia has more nuclear weapons than any other country, with around 8,000 in its arsenal, 500 more than the United States. They're also renowned for their special forces, the Spetsnaz, who have to endure brutal training, including being woken up in the night and sent to a cramped room filled waist-high with blood, rotten flesh and organs from nearby slaughterhouses. They're also bombarded with gunfire and attack dogs during the ordeal, which is meant to get them used to all the blood they'll spill in combat. North Korea. 1,190,000 active personnel. Almost 4 out of 10 North Koreans work for the army, if you also include reserve personnel. It's no surprise though, because the country has been at war since 1950, as no peace treaty for the Korean War was ever signed. The US Congress recently announced that North Korea has made significant advancements towards developing a ballistic missile that could hit America. India. 1,325,000 active personnel. India's armed forces control the highest battlefield in the world, the Siachen Glacier, which is 6,700 meters above sea level and the highest inhabited place on Earth. More troops have died there from the harsh conditions rather than actual fighting with Pakistan. It costs $300 million a year to maintain the base. USA. 1,431,000 active personnel. The USA's military expenditure is $618.7 billion, more than every other country on this list combined. That bloated budget includes almost $80 million spent on Viagra, approximately $300 million on bands, and an undisclosed figure to maintain 200 golf courses. Most of the money does go on equipment though, which is why America has 19 aircraft carriers, almost double the rest of the world combined. China. 2,285,000 active personnel. China might have the most troops and its armed forces are almost twice the size of the USA's, but its military budget is 80% smaller than America. Even so, the People's Liberation Army has some state-of-the-art kit, including the Dongfeng 21D, a land-based missile capable of hitting an aircraft carrier 2,000 miles offshore. Not convinced? Well, China's DF intercontinental ballistic missiles give it the capability to hit anywhere in the USA with a nuclear strike.
Hi guys, that was the top 10 biggest armies on the planet. If you learned something new, don't forget to hit that like button and let us know what you thought in the comments below. You might also find interest in the 10 deadliest wars in history. There's a link on screen now, so go over and check it out and let us know what you thought.